When the nation of Israel was in a state of spiritual desperation, when the Israelites worshiped and served strange gods, they found themselves vulnerable against their enemies. They had to endure several invasions from the Midianites, Amalekites, and other nations, ransacking their crops and taking away their livestock. It's probably safe to say that they deserved this situation as a result of their idolatry, disobedience, and ungodliness. And so, for 7 years, they had to endure poverty and insecurity. But who did they turn to? Obviously, their idols could not help them, so they cried unto the Lord. Despite their deep estrangement from God, they were quick to go back to Him and complain. And God showed them mercy and grace and heeded their cry. Enter Gideon. Gideon was the one called by God to lead the charge against Israel's enemies. And first among God's orders for him was to cast down Baal's statue in their city. This was particularly difficult for him as even his own family were worshippers of the idol, and destroying it might mean he will get disowned by his family or worse, killed. But he did not relent. He stood for what was right in the face of imminent and sure punishment. He did not mind the consequences of his disobedience to his idolatrous father and family. This is one of the many instances where his faith in God was tried and proven. God was not wrong in anointing him and making him leader over Israel because they eventually defeated their enemies. If you read the whole of Gideon's story in Judges chapter 6, you'll discover that Gideon had an integrity that stemmed from his faith and righteousness, albeit he would yield to selfishness and greed later in his life. Nevertheless, the lesson here is that there was a time when he was right with God, and that was what mattered most to him. He feared God more than he feared Baal and his followers, and even his own father, all for the sake of honoring God. And because of this, a whole nation was blessed. May we learn from Gideon's example of righteousness and integrity.